Hi guys. So in this video we are going to look at what are the syllabus changes that happen in ACCA Financial Reporting FR paper. So first what we'll do is we'll go to accaglobal.com, which is your ACCA website, and from ACCA Global website what we are going to do is we're going to go to students and we are going to look at study support resources. So this is common for all the papers. So once we are in the study support resources page, we need to scroll down and come to ACCA qualification. So when you click on that, you can look at all the subjects that are available in your ACCA. So let's select financial reporting. So when you scroll down, you will see a lot of exam resources that are available for you guys, which we have covered in multiple videos till now. So you can use what is introduction to financial reporting, how to plan your study, what are the guidance given by exam team, and then you have your syllabus, examinable documents, what are the relevant standards applicable for your exam, then some math and English language support, then you have learning and revision related videos provided by ACCA, practice platform, examiners reports, previous exams reports, technical articles on your subject, which technique or what technique has to be used for your exam, then you have your past exam question papers, frequently asked questions. So everything that you need to know about a particular paper is basically covered in this student study support resource. So for this video we are going to look at the syllabus section because we want to know the changes that happened in the FR syllabus. So when I scroll down here, you can see that there's this financial reporting syllabus and study guide September 2022 to June 2023. So just for your kind information, ACCA usually changes their syllabus. Any kind of modifications to the syllabus will be brought with effect from September of a calendar year. So if a syllabus change happens usually in September 2021, September 2022, September 2023, so on so forth. And any change that happens in September will be applicable till next June window. So the next September window, again syllabus changes usually happen. So we can download this PDF file, and the file has been downloaded. Let me zoom it up. Okay, so this is a 21 page financial reporting syllabus and study guide. So what happens with this particular syllabus file is they'll give you a detailed explanation on what exactly is covered in your syllabus, what are tested, what are not tested, everything is covered in this. So I would rather directly go to the last section of this PDF file. You can see the contents, you have intellectual levels, learning hours, all that stuff. But at the last section 12 covers about summary of changes to the financial reporting in page number 17. So I'll directly go to that. So you have summary of changes to financial reporting. So let's deal with these syllabus changes one by one. So ACCA periodically reviews the qualifications. So there have been some syllabus changes for September 2022 till June 2023. So which has been outlined in table 1. So let's see these changes one by one. So first of all, how many changes do we have? We have a good number of updates given, but the thing with this is most of these are just clarifications issued by ACCA. These are not really complete syllabus changes or topic introductions or anything like that. Most of these are clarifications issued by ACCA. So let's see one by one what are those amendments to the FR syllabus. So amendments for FR syllabus, first one, obviously minor spelling and grammar changes. This is given for your clarification. So wherever there are spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes in their ACCA materials, which are not ACCA materials but maybe more like your syllabus contents or your different sections of your syllabus, and wherever spelling and grammar changes are there, they have been made corrections. And in your conceptual framework for financial reporting, so there are certain words where it is used as value in use, which is with reference to, if you guys know your syllabus, if you are already done with FR, you should know this. We use value in use in one particular standard, which is IAS 36. So when you calculate impairment will be calculated as the carrying amount minus the recoverable amount. Recoverable amount is the higher of NRV or value in use. So the word value in use has been updated to also include fulfillment value. So this is just a terminology change. There is nothing that you guys need to worry about. There is nothing new you need to learn on this. This is just a terminology change. then the following learning syllabus has been removed from your syllabus. You do not need to learn this particular topic ma, that is describe the concept of financial and physical capital maintenance and how this affects the determination of profits. So if you guys remember, financial capital maintenance, physical capital maintenance, you have two topics which are covered as, if my memory is serving me right, topic number 4, video number 4 in our FR syllabus, in our FR lectures. So these topics of physical capital maintenance and financial capital maintenance is completely removed from your syllabus. You do not need to learn that stuff, right? Then to focus on knowledge and skills which are likely to be more directly aligned to the current requirements of ACCA students and their employers. So basically they are just trying to understand, they're just trying to tell you guys that this is something which is not relevant for the present world. So we are removing that from your syllabus, which is good as per me. Then equity accounting has been renamed to the equity method of accounting. So this just, they added the word method to the terminology. This is again just for clarification of the students. Equity accounting is a little disturbing, so they replaced it with equity method of accounting. That's it, it is covered in your IAS 28. Then you have they removed the reference to complex assets from property, plant and equipment. So you guys have complex assets which are basically like a combination of multiple assets. So what we need to do is, if you remember your IAS 16 property, plant and equipment, we need to split those complex assets into breakable units and each unit will be depreciated separately. So so those references have been removed. So that is again not a big deal for you guys. If you learn something which is not covered in your syllabus, it's okay. It's not a big deal. If you do not learn something which is there in the syllabus, that is a problematic part for us. So they added the word assets for clarification, so we can ignore that. Again, for clarification, added of intangible assets into B2D and moved including the principle of impairment test in relation to goodwill. So basically these are all just for clarifications. These are slight movements here and there within the syllabus, like one topic has been taken from section B and added to section B3, from B2 to B3, or else B2E to B2D, like that. Maybe a slight changes from here and there in the syllabus. Some students who have absolutely no idea about what are these sections here, B2E, B4B, B9E, let me just scroll back a little bit, take a break from this syllabus changes and go back. So if you see ACCA syllabus of FR, they do not give you like your Kaplan textbook or PPP material, whatever you are following. They give you a list of index with chapter names. ACCA doesn't do that. ACCA gives you the syllabus in different sections. See, section A, conceptual framework and regulatory reporting. Then section B, accounting for transactions in financial statements. Then section C, you have analysis of financial statements of single entities and group entities. Then section D, preparation of financial statements, consolidated and single entity. Last May, you have employability and technology skills. Employability and technology is more about how to use computers for your computer-based examination. How does the screen look like? What are the relevant options available? All that nonsense part. You can see navigate windows and computer screens, like response to exam requirements, appropriate tools which can be used in the exam. Basically, they're just trying to give you an understanding of how the CBE environment works. So I do not usually consider section E as a separate section. As per me, I'll only consider 4. So my students who have actually enrolled for FR classes with me knows this. In your Kaplan textbook, if you see Kaplan, conceptual and regulatory framework is covered in chapter number 7 or something like that. Somewhere after property, plant and equipment, goodwill, intangible assets. After all these standards are done, then there is something called conceptual framework. But if you see ACCA syllabus, conceptual framework is the first topic which we need to learn, because obviously, so the definitions that we are learning and everything that we are learning is supposed to be on the first place. So I teach conceptual framework first and then move on to the standards and then move on to the analysis and preparation of consolidated at the last part. So we follow the sequence given in ACCA syllabus guidelines, because many students have actually asked me, sir, why are you not following the sequence given in Kaplan textbook? Yes, here is your answer. I already tell this to my students, because in my regular lectures I explain that clearly. So what are those B25, B2D, something like that has been given. So basically if you see here, let me scroll up a little bit. Okay. So section B is talking about accounting for transactions in financial statements. In section B, topic 3 is impairment of assets. In topic 3, impairment of assets, you have part D, which talks about describing what is meant by a cash generating unit. So when in that syllabus change document we have seen earlier, B3D means describe what is meant by a cash generating unit. So let me just scroll back to that syllabus change. So here, if you see, okay, see in B2E, the terminology has been changed from value to fair value for clarification. So what is B2E? We'll just go and we'll see that the word value has been changed to fair value. B2E. Okay. So we are in syllabus B. In B, second part is intangible assets. So within intangible assets, so they have changed the word value to fair value. So B tangible, B2E. Okay, here indicate why the fair value of purchase consideration for an investment may be less than the fair value of the acquired identifiable net assets and how the difference should be accounted for. Basically, they are telling you a situation where the purchase consideration is less than the net assets acquired. If it is more, then we'll have goodwill. If it is less, then we have bargain purchase or negative goodwill. So here they replace the word value with fair value. Sir, absolutely conceptually there is no change. Just they have corrected or they have clarified the terminology used in their syllabus guidelines. So you guys do not need to worry at all about these terminology changes. So as of now, till now what we have seen, the most important syllabus change for you guys to consider is topic this one, physical capital maintenance, financial capital maintenance has been removed from your syllabus. You do not need to worry about it. That's the major syllabus change up till this point. Remaining all are just slight changes in the terminologies used. Similarly, value has been changed to fair value. And agricultural produce, like basically they are talking about IAS 41, your biological assets related standard. They have added the word and agricultural produce. Accounting standards has been replaced with IFRS standard, which makes more sense. And then added or at a point of time could be possible. I don't know what exactly is BTNF and I don't want to go back. But looking at this or at a point of time, I would consider that they are talking about IFRS 15 revenue recognition from contracts with customers, where you have two methods wherein revenue is recognized either over a period of time or at a point of time. So that is what is added here. At a point of time is added in the syllabus content guidelines. Next one. You can see this change, whatever we are looking now, is to emphasize the importance of statement of cash flows in interpreting the entity's financial statements. So this is interpretation of cash flow statement. So various elements have been moved and or reworded within these learning outcomes to emphasize the importance. So this is just moving some elements from here to there within your syllabus and then increasing the level of knowledge a little bit. So you can see here, here is this, including amending the intellectual or cognitive level of certain elements from level 1 knowledge and comprehension to level 2 application and analysis. See, knowledge and comprehension means you just need to know that concept. Application and analysis means you need to practically apply that to a given scenario. So just not just knowing the cash flow statement, but also knowing how to apply those elements that you learn, that is being added. So basically they are going to test cash flow statement a little bit deeper, analysis of cash flow statement. The level of learning outcome has been changed down from level 2 to level 1 to align with the learning outcome C3D1. So they are C3D2 level has been decreased, C3D1 level has been increased. You do not need to worry. Basically syllabus remains the same. They are going to test a little bit more on analysis of cash flow statement. So you need to be better prepared about that. Then the word standard have been added for clarification. Clarified that only extracts from a statement of cash flow will be required and that only the indirect method of cash flows from operating is part of the syllabus. So this is a key change for you guys. You know, in cash flow statement, we learned that for operating cash flows from operating activities, you have two methods, direct method and indirect method. So in direct method, what do? We just take the inflows of cash, like cash collected from customers, cash received from your what do you call it, if you have given out a property for rent, rents received, interest received, dividends received. So basically, unless you wanted to classify them as a financing activity or a investing activity, which is a different case, but basically whatever cash we receive from the operations and whatever cash we pay on account of operations, payment to suppliers, payment to vendors, payment to rent, payment towards maybe transportation charges, electricity bill, internet bill, telephone bill, whatever payments you make, inflows and outflows, we'll just list them out and then we'll prepare the net cash flow from operating activities. That is direct method. That is not tested for your examinations. That will not be tested for exams. Only indirect method of cash flows will be tested. So indirect method of cash flows, what we'll do, we'll start with net profit before taxes. We will add back all the non-cash items and then we will deduct the actual cash transactions that happened if they are cash outflows. And then at the end, what we'll do, we'll also consider the changes in working capital. Increase in inventories is decrease in cash flow. Increase in debtors is decrease in cash flow. Increase in supply payables is increase in cash flow. So those three changes in working capital we'll do and then we'll calculate, which is more like a reconciliation of net profit from operating activities and net cash flows from operating activities. So that part is tested. Indirect method is tested for your exam. Direct method is not tested for your exam. So please be careful about that part. And then changed including an associate to for a simple group. So just a clarification again, just changing the terminology, not to be worried about. Added the definition of a simple group from one subsidiary and one associate to up to two subsidiaries and one associate. So unfortunately for your kind information, these are not tested in ACCA FR level. So even though it is covered in the syllabus guidelines, it was never examined, but they are giving you some simple group ka ek definition de rahe yahan pe. So look at this. This is for clarification and to allow further scope of examining disposal of subsidiary, which we already cover in our lectures, including as a discontinued operation in section C of the exam. So this part is slightly relevant for you guys to pay attention to. I'm not saying there are syllabus changes. This is not concept change or anything like that. This is nothing that is being added also. If you go back to your IFRS 5, there basically your assets held for sale and discontinued operations. So in the last part you talk about discontinued operations. So there last if you see one note point we have covered in our lectures also. A subsidiary which is acquired just for the purpose of disposal can also be classified as a discontinued operation, can also be treated as a discontinued operation. You have that disclosure given at the last point. So they are just making you sure that you paid attention to that point now. So just be more careful with regards to what you are learning. And a simple group definition has been newly added here. Simple group is basically a group which has two subsidiaries and one associate. Doesn't necessarily mean you have exactly two subsidiaries and one associate. Up to a maximum of two subsidiaries and one associate if you are having, then your group can be classified as a simple group. That's all. Only horizontal groups will be examinable. Okay, so this is also again covered for you guys. Do not need to worry. I spoke about this in my lectures also, FR lectures. So for you guys, it is more like there will be one parent company, one subsidiary company, one associate company. A horizontal group. Basically, one is holding another, other is holding another. Simple testing will be done. So, but when we were students of CA and all that stuff, we had sub-investments, we had cross-holdings. There are lots of nonsense involved. Like for example, parent is invested in subsidiary. Subsidiary is also invested in parent. Like mutual holding of shares of each other. Or else, parent invested in one company, a subsidiary 75%. This company invested in another company, another subsidiary, sub-subsidiary. So how to consolidate this entire group? So such kind of things used to be there, vertical groups which are not tested for you, only horizontal, simple groups are tested for you guys. Non-controlling interest should be recognized at fair value or a proportion of net assets at acquisition date. Basically your two methods of goodwill calculation which we already cover in lectures. Then included reference to disposal of subsidiaries included as a discontinued operation, as I have already explained this part to you guys. Replaced other reserves with other components of equity. So this is just a clarification. I already tell this to my students in our lectures on the day one itself when we talk about the financial statements as a whole, where I introduce the terminologies to you guys. I clearly tell you guys, in India we call them as reserves. In India we call it as revaluation reserve. Then you have so many other reserves, to be very honest, like foreign exchange fluctuation reserve. Then you have debenture redemption reserve, preference share redemption reserve, capital reserve. There are so many reserves. Similarly, our retained earnings is also called general reserve in India. But when you go to UK and when you look at IFRS based financial statements, they use the word retained earnings instead of general reserve. Similarly, instead of other reserves, they use the word other components of equity. So it's just a terminology difference, nothing more than that. Similarly, contingent assets and contingent liabilities. To contingent assets and contingent liabilities. What? Oh, contingent assets and liabilities tha pehle. So they just made it sure, because students were confusing whether it is normal liabilities or contingent liabilities. They added contingent assets and contingent liabilities. So the word contingent has been added to make it more clear for the students. So this is these are the syllabus changes as of now. So as per me, there are only majorly 2 or 3 syllabus changes. The first syllabus change is that your financial capital maintenance and physical capital maintenance has been removed from your syllabus. You do not need to learn that stuff anymore. Then rest of all are mostly like just clarifications given, name changes and all. Second major syllabus change is analysis of cash flow statement will be tested a little deeper now. Earlier it was more like preparation of cash flow. Now analysis of cash flow will be tested better in more depth. So that's an additional change as per me, major change. And then the fact that simple group definition has been introduced, which includes 2 subsidiaries and 1 associate up to max. Horizontal groups only will be tested, which is usual. And most important thing is, you guys should note that a subsidiary can be also acquired with a view to dispose it off in the near future. In that case, that will be classified as a discontinued operation. This is usually earlier tested in SBR syllabus. Now it is also tested in FR. That is another change. Rest of all are just clarifications of terminologies. Then let's also talk about this part where changes in approach taken by FR examining team. What kind of changes are the examination team expecting from September 2022? This is important for your exam preparation, so pay attention to. So first one is, in the past, FR examining team have accepted a simplified approach to accounting for intercompany transaction between parent company and associate. Oh my god, this is such a wonderful, happy thing to see in the syllabus. I'm really happy to look at this. I told my students, all my students, I have been telling for ages, like literally 4 to 5 years, I have been telling my students, your FR textbooks, both Kaplan and BPP, gave a simplified approach for transactions between parent and associate. Either parent selling to associate or associate selling to parent. Your textbooks earlier gave the same adjustment entry. Parent selling to associate or associate selling to parent, same adjusting entry was given, because they do not want to confuse the students more. But even though it is given in your textbook, I have been teaching for the last 4-5 years. My students, I have told them the same thing. I told them it is wrongly given in your textbook to simplify it for you, but the actual treatment is different. So now they are going to change this. So please look at this. So earlier, you can clearly see here, in the past, FR examining team have accepted a simplified approach to accounting for intercompany transactions between parent and its associate, where credit would be awarded for recording the same adjusting journal entry regardless of whether the transaction was upstream. Upstream means associate is selling to a parent, or downstream, parent is selling to associate. In both the cases, we used to follow same accounting treatment, but I never taught that. I clearly explained my students there are 2 different adjustment entries. But now if you see upstream transactions, if associate is selling to the parent holds the inventories in their balance sheet. So inventories value will be removed or deducted by the unrealized profit, PURP you guys call it as. So share of profit in associate to inventories will be recorded. But if it is a downstream transaction, if parent is selling to the associate, in that case inventory is not in the group. Inventory is with the associate. You are not consolidating the associate's inventory in the group inventories. So inventory should not be deducted, rather investment in associate should be deducted. So you can see investment in associate is deducted here. So that is a major difference. I have been teaching this for so many periods, like so many windows. Finally, this change has been brought into FR examination team. This approach is more technically accurate and candidates should be able to demonstrate the application of this knowledge. Please, 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 please be happy about this thing, because we were learning something which is not technically correct, because they just wanted to make it easy for you guys. Finally, they approved that let's follow the correct method, which is good according to me. Similarly, FR examining team are aware that in recent years, some candidates and learning providers have continued to use the accounting requirements of IAS 11 construction contracts rather than requirements of IFRS 15 revenue from contracts with customers when calculating the contract assets and contract liabilities. Credit has been given for both the approaches in the past. Now they will not give you marks if you are following the old standard. So this is, I don't know, like why was ACCA team doing this in the first case? Like when they specifically told you that IFRS 15 revenue from contracts with customers is tested, you should learn only IFRS 15. Why would anybody learn older IAS 11 standard and then give the answers as per the old standard and then expect marks? ACCA shouldn't have been giving these marks earlier itself. But at least now they realize that we will not award marks if you are following older accounting standards. If you are following IAS 11 construction contracts, we will not give you marks. Similarly, if you follow older standard IAS 17 under leases, you will not be given any marks. Follow IFRS 16 leases. So like that, basically they are being more strict with regards to their syllabus. So revenue recognized to date, basically what are the revenues that are recognized on the basis of percentage of work completed basis pay, and what are the amounts invoiced till date. So suppose percentage work completed is 75%, but we have only given an invoice to the customer for 40%. 75% complete हो गया, 40% के लिए invoice दे. That remaining 35% जो है ना, that is basically contract asset. We already covered that in the syllabus in our regular lectures. So whatever has been invoiced will become receivables. Whatever is unbilled revenue, we call it as unbilled revenue. That is called as contract asset. If it is more amount received from the customer in advance, contract liability will be shown. So as simple as that. So those additional points have been considered. Then for contracts where performance obligations are satisfied over a period of time, percentage of completion basis per revenue should be recognized. So there is no requirement to calculate estimated profit or loss on the contract except to determining whether the contract is onerous or not. So for the purpose of FR exam, any cost incurred to fulfill a contract with a customer should be expensed to the P&L as and when they are incurred. These are all clarifications given to you. Sir, we have been teaching only IFRS 15. I have never taught IAS 11 based, except I have to be a little humble here. There are few cases where answers given in Kaplan exam kit or BPP exam kit were as per IAS 11. They still gave answers as per the old standard. Some students were like, sir, we are unable to get this answer. We are not able to understand how this is calculated. I explained them the answer part. But I never taught IAS 11. I always taught IFRS 15 to my students. So my students, don't worry. This is not any new change for you guys. You have been learning the correct technique from the beginning. Don't worry. So IFRS 15. So that is the most important changes for you guys. So this is really very, very important for you guys to consider for your September 2022 examinations. And apart from this, before I conclude this video, guys, please pay attention to these kind of documents that are being given. So and apart from that, please look at the resources available in your student study support resources. Look at the examination team guidance notes. Look at the examiners reports, technical articles. They are very, very important for your examinations. They'll help you clear exams much easier, right? So with that, I'll say goodbye to you guys. Best of luck for your examinations, and in case if you have any doubts with regards to FR, whether you are my student or not, feel free to contact us on Telegram. You will find us, our groups, our channels, you will find by the name Global Finex, GLOBAL space FIN space X. Global FinX. You'll find us on Telegram. You can ping me over there and I will get back to you guys for clarifications on your doubts. Right? I'll see you guys later. Good luck. Bye bye.